Miguel,
Pickled peppers.
how are you feeling today?
Fine, thank you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very well.
Good. Are you nervous?
No?
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's just your foot's jiggling.
My foot always jiggles.
Does it? Is
Yes.
that a medical condition or is it an injury?
Potentially.
Potentially what? An injury or potentially a medical condition?
I see now how this is going to go. You're going to try to be the interviewer.
No, not at all. I was just showing some concern.
It's like science in the labs.
So,
Should you be speaking as a sound operator?
what would you...
No.
So,
Yes.
What? So what did you do before you entered Newcastle College?
This morning?
What were your previous occupations?
Oh. From when?
From the time that you entered the workforce until now?
Oh. I worked in a bingo hall, which is quite fun because it had a cheap bar. Quite like that. And it wasn't long days especially. I worked in curries. I used to quite enjoy that as well because we got to play with cameras and all sorts of things. I ran a pub for a while with a friend of mine, which was a terrible idea for two 18-year-old boys, but also a huge amount of fun. I was very drunk most of the time. Worked offshore for a while.
Where?
Offshore.
Yes, but where specifically offshore?
North Sea,
Right.
off Aberdeen.
With what company?
With what company?
Mhm.
We're called Phillips 66. They're just an offshore crewing company.
Anything particularly happen whilst there?
No. You worked all the time, and when you weren't working you were eating, and when you weren't eating you were sleeping. Long shifts, 12 or 14 hours. Nowhere to go when you finished work because it's an oil rig. So you just went and ate, maybe watched a bit of telly, and then went to bed because you were knackered.
Were you
got up and
considered
did the
a
same.
loyal employee?
I guess so. I turned up every 2 weeks and went away for 2 weeks and came home for 2 weeks and then went back again.
At this pub, were there any other kick-offs?
Oh yes, there's always kick-offs.
How
in the
did you
pub.
deal with them?
Let the door staff deal with it.
Have you ever worked abroad?
Yes,
Whereabouts?
Russia.
Russia, what you do in Russia?
I was collecting invoices and payments.
For who?
Stadler.
What's that?
They're a pen company.
A pen company?
They make pens.
What for? Any specific?
Writing.
Yeah, but like what type of... Would you sell these pens to companies?
Yes, precisely.
How much did one pen?
Like which type of companies would you sell to?
All sorts of companies.
Can you give me some examples?
Factories, offices, office blocks, accounting firms, all sorts. Any company that needs a pen to write something down with.
So where did you say this was located, sorry?
It's in St. Petersburg.
In Russia?
Yes.
So what else did you do while you were in Russia?
What year it was?
I was 1991.
So the fall of the Soviet Union, correct?
Yes.
Oh,
Did you work under the Soviet government? Or?
No.
Were you a citizen of Russia? Or were you
No.
just there? How'd you get a job?
I was in a bar one night. I got talking to a chap who was American. He said he needed somebody part-time who wasn't Russian. I said, I'm not. He said, no, you're not. He sent me a telegram a few days later. I replied to him, went, yeah, I can do that. And I worked a couple of days a week for him.
Why were you in Russia in the first place?
My mother was there working.
Doing what?
She was opening a casino.
Is the casino still there?
No, it never got opened.
Oh. How long were you in Russia for?
About 7 months.
Was there a particular reason why the casino was never opened?
Advice from other businessmen who were Russian.
Who?
I don't know their names.
Potentially rivals?
Quite possibly.
What did they say to make her not want to open a casino?
It wasn't so much her, it was the people that were back in the casino that were advised not to open the casino. She was more working as somebody who was an interpreter and knowledgeable about the casino industry, having worked in casinos for a large portion of her life.
Who was she an interpreter for?
The two chaps opening it, they were the financial backers of the casino,
Where were they opening the casino?
St. Petersburg, Leningrad.
So can you just elaborate more on these two men, please?
In what respect?
In like where were they working for, like a company?
No, they had money and they were wanting to open a casino and thought it was a good idea to open it in St. Petersburg / Leningrad.
Were there any peculiar connections that they had that you were able to inter on?
No. I guess what was most peculiar about the two people that were opening this casino was one was called Don Johnson, the other one was Chuck Norris.
Funny.
Did they name
I'm not
themselves?
laughing.
Did they name themselves
Is
that?
he the one that's just
No, they
died?
were actually Don Johnson and Chuck Norris.
So were they Russian or?
No,
Where
they were Don Johnson and Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris who's just
So they were
died,
famous?
and Don Johnson who's the actor from Miami Vice.
And
So how did you know them though?
I didn't, my mother did,
How did she know them?
because she used to work the casinos in Florida.
And was there any particular reason why they wanted to open casinos in Russia, specifically just after the fall of the Soviet Union?
Because they knew there was a lot of money in Russia with the gas and oil and all the slightly dodgy people in Russia.
did you
Also, it was money laundering.
No, they were going to open a casino in Russia and they were the financial backers of it and thought if they were Western movie stars that they would attract a certain clientele, and assuming there was lots of money within Russia, the likes of Abramovich and all this kind of thing were all billionaires because they took the oil and gas pipelines of the former Soviet Union. They thought opening a casino would be a sensible thing to do to attract that Russian money and then be able to attract those Russian investors to go to America and invest.
Did you meet them?
Yes,
Were they nice?
yes, pleasant enough chaps.
I have a question about the pen factory that you worked at.
It wasn't a factory.
Well, the pen. What do you mean by that? Like, what did you actually do in this pen company?
The chap who was Americans would send me a telegram and say, this person has bought 1,000 pens, please take the invoice and collect the cheque in payment and return it back to his office.
So, was it
Oh.
strictly just pens that you were, like,
Yes,
were you, so like the middleman in a way, like were you the one transporting these pens?
I never saw a pen.
You never saw a pen?
No,
Did you just deal with the money?
not even the money, it was cheques or bank transfers.